Welcome to Mathemagical series. Today we are going to learn magical concepts related with profit and loss. In our today's class, we'll learn about the basic formula of profit and loss. Then we are going to learn about discount, what discount is, how to apply it, what mark price is. And then later on we'll do three conceptual caselets based on profit and loss. Okay, so even if you are well versed with the basic formula or the basic applications of profit and loss, you can jump forward and try to solve the conceptual caselets. So there are timestamps that are provided at different time intervals. You can utilize them. So let's start with the first, that is the basic formula. Cost price. Cost price is known as the price at which an entity is purchased. Suppose you go out on a shop and you purchase something. So that cost is known as the cost price. Okay. Now the shopkeeper who is selling you that article, for him that becomes the selling price. Okay. So cost price is the cost of the article that you have purchased from the shopkeeper. For you, it is the cost price. Similarly, for the shopkeeper, that becomes the selling price. Okay. The profit is calculated on the basis of selling price minus cost price. Suppose you purchased an article and now you want to sell it. So when you sell it, the price at which you sell that particular article, it becomes your selling price. Okay. And the difference between them is known as the profit. Now you will only have profit when your selling price is greater than the cost price. Okay, and we calculate the profit percent using the formula profit upon cost price into 100. That is, profit is calculated on cost price. That is, we need to consider cost price as our base in order to calculate the profit percent. Similarly, if selling price is less than the cost price, that means the article that you have bought is being sold at a price less than the cost price of that particular article. In that case, you will incur a loss. And that loss will be given by cost price minus the selling price. And the loss percent, again, it will be calculated on cost price. So loss percent will be again loss upon CP into 100. So these are some of the basic formulas that you need to know about profit and loss. Now let's move on and try to solve some conceptual problems related with these formulas. First, a man buys a watch for rupees 1200. That means cost price is given to us, which is 1200. For how much should he sell the watch to earn 25% profit? So profit percent is 25%. Okay, we are given cost price, we are given profit percent. We are asked for how much should he sell. That means we need to find the selling price. So selling price is what we need to find in this particular question. Okay, now we know the formula that profit percent is equal to profit upon cost price into 100. Okay, so we know profit percent, it is 25. Profit we don't know. Cost price is 1200 into 100. So this gets cancelled out. So the profit becomes 300 rupees. So cost price is 1200, profit is 300. Now we know that profit is selling price minus cost price. So that is equal to 300. So this will imply selling price will be 300 plus cost price. Cost price we know it is 1200. So selling price becomes 300 plus 1200. So that will be equal to 1500. Okay. So just by using this one formula, that is profit percent, and next formula, that profit is selling price minus cost price. So using these two formulas, we could calculate the selling price. It came out to be 1500 rupees. Okay. Next, Now let's try to solve the second question. The cost price of an article is sold at rupees 900. That means the selling price of the article is given to us. The selling price is 900 rupees. It is sold at a profit of 12.5%. So profit is 12.5%. Now, one interesting thing to note is that profit is normally, this is profit percent. So profit is normally selling price minus cost price. This implies that selling price is cost price plus profit. Okay. Now we know the formula of profit percent. Okay. We know that profit percent is equal to profit upon CP into 100. So this will imply that profit, this value, it will be equal to profit percent into CP upon 100. Okay, so from this formula we can get the value of profit in terms of profit percent and cost price. Simply we can put this over here. So cost price plus profit, profit means profit percent into cost price upon 100 is equal to selling price. This would mean that selling price is equal to cost price plus profit percent is 12.5. 12.5 upon 100 into cost price. The value of selling price is given to us, it is 900. So 900 is equal to cost price we need to find out plus 12.5 upon 100 will be 1 by 8 into cost price. So from this simply if you calculate, you will get 900 is equal to 9 by 8 times cost price. Okay. So from here you can cancel out this, you get it as 100. So cost price becomes 800 rupees. Okay. So answer will be A. Next question. A man sells an item for rupees 800. Again, the selling price is given to us. It is 800 rupees. He makes a loss of 20%. Now this time loss is 20%. And remember, whenever we are making a loss, that means that cost price is greater than the selling price. That's why we are making this loss. We need to find the cost price of that particular item. Okay. Now again, we know that loss percent is equal to loss upon CP into 100. And we know that loss, or we can say selling price, cost price minus the selling price is equal to loss, or selling price is equal to cost price minus the loss. Simply putting this value over here of loss from here. So from here we can get that loss is equal to loss percent into cost price upon 100. Simply putting this value over here, we get cost price minus loss is loss percent into cost price upon 100. This is equal to selling price. Okay. Now we know the value of selling price. We need to find the cost price, and we also know the loss percent. It is 20%. So this becomes cost price minus 20 by 100 into cost price, and selling price is nothing but 800 rupees. Okay. So 800 will be equal to, this becomes cost price minus 1 by 5 into cost price. So this becomes 4 by 5 times cost price. This is equal to 800. So cost price becomes, this is 200. So cost price becomes 1000. Okay. So answer will be B. Next, Vidhi sells an article at a profit of 20% and another article at a loss of 20%. We are given selling price of two articles. Okay. Rather, we are given the profit on selling on article 1 and a loss on selling article 2. Okay. If selling price of both the article is same, then find his profit or loss percent. Simply, let's talk about article 1. Let's say its cost price is 100 times X. Now it has a profit of 20%. So profit is always calculated on cost price. So profit will be 20% of cost price. So that will be 20% of cost price. So that will be equal to 20x. So profit is 20x, cost price is 100x. That means selling price will be cost price plus profit. That will be equal to 100x plus 20, 100x plus 20x. So this becomes 120x. Okay. So this will be your selling price for article 1. Next, for article 2, let's say the cost price is 100y. We know that loss is 20%. Hence the selling price will be, or rather we can just calculate the loss first. So loss is 20%. The value of loss will be 20%. 20% of 100y. So that will be again equal to 20y. Now selling price will be cost price minus the loss. So that becomes 100y minus 20y equals to 80y. So this becomes the selling price of article 2. Now according to question, it is given to us that selling price of both the articles is same. Okay. So that means according to question, selling price are equal. That means 120x is equal to 80 times y. So simply we can say that 3x is equal to 2y, or x is equal to 2 by 3 times y. Okay. This is the relation we get after solving this equation. Now we are asked, find his profit or loss percent. So to find the profit and loss percent, firstly we need to find the overall cost price. So the total cost price of article 1 and 2. So total cost price of the article becomes total cost of the article. Total cost will be 100x plus 100y. Okay. Total selling price, it will be total selling price. It will be 120x plus 80y. Okay. Or 120x is equal to 80y. So you can substitute the value of 120x in terms of 80y. So it becomes 160y. Similarly, you can substitute the value of x from here. So it becomes 2 by 3y. So it becomes 200. So value of total costing will become 2 by 3. So it becomes 200 by 3. So that becomes 500 by 3y. 500 by 3y. Now if you subtract it to calculate whether it's a profit or loss, just subtract the total selling price from the total cost price. So simply if you subtract these values, the total selling price and the total cost price, you will get profit oblique loss equals to 160y minus 500 by 3y. So this will come out to be negative. That means we are incurring a loss. So loss is of 20 by 3y. So this is the loss that we need to bear. And the total cost price is 500 by 3y. So simply the loss percent will be equal to loss upon the cost price into 100. We know the loss is 20 by 3y. So 20 by 3y whole upon The cost price, total cost price is 500 upon 3y into 100. Okay, so this gets cancelled out. This gets cancelled out. This becomes 25. 25 times 4. So this becomes a loss of 4%. So answer will be B, 4% loss. This is a very important question. If you are able to solve this question, that means your concept, your basic concepts of profit loss is clear. Okay. We were given an article, two articles. One was sold at a profit of 20%, another at a loss of 20%. If the selling price of both the article is same, so firstly we calculated article 1 cost price. From profit percent we could calculate the selling price. Similarly for article 2 cost price we were given the loss percent. From that we could calculate the selling price, and according to the question it was given that both the selling prices are equal. Hence we established a relation between X and Y. Once you do that, you just find the total costing of both the articles and the total selling price of both the articles. After doing that, we just subtract selling price and cost price. We get the value as 20 by 3 by, and since it was coming in negative, that means we are incurring a loss. We needed to calculate the loss percent, so loss upon total cost price into 100. Loss was 20 by 3 by divided by total cost price, which was 500 by 3 by into 100. We get 4%. Okay. Now the next magical concept that we are going to learn about is discount. Now discount, now there is another term called as the marked price. So whenever you go at a shopping store such as DMart, the price that you see over there, that is the listed price, that is also known as the marked price. So marked price is nothing but the cost price plus the markup price. Now suppose that you are at the DMart store. Now if they have put a mark price on a particular article, that article must have been bought by DMart as well. So that is known as the cost price for the DMart. The article that he has purchased from somewhere, so that is the cost price of DMart. The price that you see when you visit a DMart store is the marked price of that particular article. Okay, so the difference between that cost price for DMart and the marked price that you see when you visit DMart, the difference between them is known as the markup price. Okay, which is nothing but the amount by which cost of an article is increased. Okay. Similarly, markup percent. So markup percent will be the markup price divided by cost price into 100. So markup percent is calculated on the markup price. Discount is nothing but selling price minus the mark price. So at DMart store, you must have seen that there is this mark price, and then they cut that price and then they write the DMart price. So that DMart price is basically the selling price. Okay. So discount is it, it should be mark price minus the selling price, because mark price will always be greater than selling price. So discount will be mark price minus selling price, and discount percent is nothing but discount upon mark price into 100. So just you need to take care of this particular thing, that discount percent is always calculated with respect to mark price, whereas the markup percent is calculated with respect to cost price. Okay, let's try to solve a problem. A shopkeeper marks his good 25% more than the cost price. If he allows a discount of 20%, then find his gain or loss percent. Okay, now here we are given, let's say the cost price of the article is 100 times X. Okay, marks his goods 25% more than the cost price. That means we are given markup percent. Markup percent is 25%. So that would mean that markup price will be equal to 25% of cost price. So that will be equal to 25x. So this is your markup price. So from that we can get the marked price. Marked price is cost price plus the markup price. So that becomes 100x plus 25x. So that becomes 125x. Similarly, now we are given a discount of 20%. Okay. Now we are given a discount of 20%. So discount is always given on marked price. So the value of discount will be 20% of marked price, which is 125x. So 20% of 125x, that will come out to be 25x. So that means selling price will be marked price minus the discount. So that is equal to marked price is 125x minus the discount, that is 25x. So that will be equal to 100x. So cost price we assumed was 100x. Selling price is also 100x. So cost price is equal to selling price. Hence, we are neither gaining nor losing any amount. Hence, answer will be D, none of these. Okay. Next, the mark price of radio is 5,000. So mark price is given as 5,000. He allows a discount of 20%. So discount is 20%. So value of discount will be 20% of 5,000. So that will be equal to 1,000 rupees. So selling price will be mark price minus the discount. So that is equal to 5,000 minus 1,000. So that is equal to 4,000 rupees. Now the shopkeeper allows a discount of, and he gains 25%. So profit is given to us as 25%. Find the cost price of the article. So again, we are given profit as 25%. We know the selling price is 4,000. Let's say the cost price is 100x. Profit is 25%. So profit will be equal to 25% of 100x. So that will be equal to 25x. That means the selling price will be cost price plus profit. So that is equal to 100 plus 25x. So this becomes 125x. Now the value of this 125x is given to us, which is 4,000. So simply we equate both these things. So this implies that 125x is equal to 4,000. Okay. So this will be your, we need to find the cost price, which is 100x. So simply we can find the value of x from here. So it becomes 4,000 by 125. So 4,000 by 125, if you do the calculation, it becomes 25 5s are 25 1s are 25. So this value will come out to be 32. So the cost price becomes 100 times x. So that will become 3,200. So the cost price will be 3,200. Okay. Next, by how much percent a shopkeeper must mark up his goods so that by giving 12% discount, he may gain 10%. Okay. Here we are given, we are asked that by how much percent, that is the markup percent, we must increase the price of an article so that even after giving a 12% discount, we are able to gain 10% profit. Okay. Again, let us assume the cost price as 100x. Now profit that he must earn is 10%. So profit in value will become 10% of 100x, that is the cost price. So that becomes 10x. So if profit is 10x, cost price is 100x, selling price will be cost price plus profit. So that will be equal to 110x, right? Now we know that the shopkeeper is giving a discount of 12%. Now we don't know what the cost mark price is. but we know that discount that is given to us is 12%. So we are given 12% discount. So after giving 12% discount, we got this value of 110x. Let us assume that the marked price is 100y. Okay. So if marked price is 100y, that means the value of discount, it will be 12% of 100y. So that will be equal to 12y. So selling price will be marked price minus the discount. So that becomes 100 minus 12y. So that will be 88y. Now we got this value of selling price as 110x, and we also got the value of selling price as 88y. Simply equate both these equations, we get 110x equals to 88y. So 10x will be equal to 8y, or y will be equal to 5 by 4x. Okay. So cost price is 100x, mark price is 100y. So mark price will be 100 into 5 by 4. So that becomes 5 by 4x. So this becomes 125x. So this is the mark price and this is the cost price. Hence the markup percent. The markup percent will be equal to markup price, which is 125x minus 100x. 125x minus 100x divide by 100x into 100. So this will come out to be 25 by 100, that is 1 by 4, 1 by 4 into, okay, so that's 25 by 100. So this becomes 25%. So the markup will be 25%. Again, this question is very important to understand the concept of markup percent. Please don't get confused between markup price and the marked price. Markup price is the price by which you increase the amount of an article to get the marked price. Okay. Next question. Find the single equivalent discount of two successive discounts of 10% and 10%. Okay. So successive discounts of 10%. This here we will utilize the formula of successive percentage changes. Now, one important thing to note here is that marked price, it comprises of two components, selling price and discount. Okay, so if marked price is 100% and discount is 10% of marked price, for example, so selling price will be, we need to find the selling price. So selling price will become simply 100% minus 10, that is 90% of the marked price. This is a very important concept that you need to understand. If you understand this magical concept, then all the questions related to mark price and discount, you will be able to solve within few minutes. Okay. So we know that selling price is 90% of the mark price. Mark price is made of two components, selling price and discount. If discount is 10%, selling price will be 90%. Now here we are talking about two successive discounts. Let's say the cost price of the article was 100x. Now let's say first discount we gave it of 10%. So if discount is 10%, selling price will be 100, sorry, let's say mark price is 100x. So first discount is 10%. So selling price will become 90%, 90% of mark price. So that will be equal to 90%, that is 90% of 100x. So that will become 90x. Okay, this is after offering first discount. Okay, we get this selling price, but again we are offering another discount on this price now. So another discount is of 10% again. Okay, so we are offering another discount that is of 10%. So again, my final selling price, that is after giving two successive discount, it will again be 90% of this selling price, that is 90x. So 90% of 90x, it will come out to be 81x. So that becomes my selling price, while initially my mark price was 100x. So if we calculate the overall discount percent, so the overall discount is of 19x. So total discount, we can say total discount is equal to mark price minus the final selling price. So that is 100x minus 81x. So that will be equal to 19x. So this is the discount. We are asked the discount percent. So discount percent will be discount upon mark price into 100. So discount is 19x, mark price is 100x into 100. So this gets cancelled out. So this becomes 19%. So whenever you go for shopping and they are offering you a successive discount, that doesn't mean that they are offering you 20% discount. Okay. First is 10% and then successive discount of 10%. So that doesn't mean that you are given a discount of 20%. Rather, you are given discount of only 19%. Okay. Next. Now, once you've understood all of these basic concepts, let us now try to solve the conceptual caselets which are asked in CLAT exams. The first caselet. Now, there are three friends, Vidhi, Vidhan and Vidya. They went to a shopping center. Each of them had rupees 2500. In the shopping center, the session sale discount was 10% on the marked price. Okay. Vidhan and Vidya were regular customers, so they got 20% each and additional discount on the discounted price. But Vidhi, being a new customer, didn't get any additional discount. Only Vidya had a membership card of the shopping center, which gave an additional discount of 25% on the discounted price. They all like the headsets of both brand and they purchased one piece each of that brand. The mark price of each piece was same. In last, when they calculated, they found that Vidhan had paid 360 more than that of Vidya. Okay. So simply first thing that we will do is we'll assume the mark price of the headset as the 100x. Now let's talk about Vidhan. Okay. Now for Vidhan, the cost price for Vidhan. So cost price for Vidhan. The mark price was 100x, but he was given a discount of, everyone got the discount of 10%. So that means the selling price will be 90% of this 100x. Okay. And after that, Vidhan, he was a regular customer, so he got 20% an additional discount. So 20%, if 20% is the discount, then the selling price will be 80%. So 80 by 100 into this value. So this will come out to be 72x. Similarly, cost price for Vidhi. So Vidhi, again, the mark price is 100x and she's getting a 10% discount. That means 90 by 100 selling price for them or cost price for Vidhi. And Vidhi is not, but Vidhi being a new customer didn't get any additional discount. So this is the only discount that she got. So for her, the costing for the headphones will be 90x. Similarly, now cost price for Vidya. So cost price for Vidya, it will be equal to 100x into 10% that is given to each and every one. Apart from that, Vidya, she got a discount of 20%, so it becomes 80 by 100 into she gets an additional discount of 25%, so it again becomes 75 by 100. So simply if you do it, you will get this value as 56x. Okay, so now we have assumed the mark price as 100x. We got the cost price for Vidhan as 72x. Simply we needed to remember that selling price of the headset for the shop owner, for the shopping center, is the cost price for all these friends. Selling price of a shopkeeper becomes your cost price. That is what we have calculated. Okay, so cost price for Vidhan is nothing but the selling price. So selling price is calculated on, we are given the mark price and we know the discount percent. So from that we could calculate the selling price for the shopkeeper, which ultimately becomes the cost price for all the three. So this is what we know. Now in the last, it is given that they calculated and they found that Vidhan had paid 360 more than that of Vidya. So Vidhan and Vidya, the difference between them, between the amount that they have paid is 360. So simply 72x minus 56x is equal to 360. So 72 minus 56. So this becomes, okay, this will not come out to be 56, this will be 54x. If you calculate this, 3 by 4 of 72, 54x, sorry. This will not be 56, this will be 54. 72 minus 54, it will come out to be 18x. 18x equals to 360. So x will be equal to 20. Okay, so you get the value as 20 of x. That means mark price will become 2000, and simply putting the values of x is as 20, we can get the cost price for each and every friend. And the mark price of the headset will be 2000. So simply we can get these values 1800, 1440 and 1080. Now let us try to solve the caselet. What was the mark price of the headset? We already calculated, it was 2000. What is the ratio of the amount paid by Vidhi to that by Vidya? So Vidhi and Vidya, simply you can calculate the ratio over here, 1800. So the ratio will be 1800 by 1080. Okay, so this is again in 6 years. So this becomes 5 by 3. So answer will be D. How much money was left with Vidhi after purchasing the headset? So initially they all had 2500 and Vidhi has spent 1800 rupees. So this becomes 700. So answer will be B. The amount paid by Vidhi for the headset was how much more than that by Vidya? So Vidhi and Vidya, we need to just find the difference between 1800 and 1080. So that will be 720. Okay. So this was a very basic caselet on discounts and mark price. Only thing that we needed to understand was that the selling price for any shopkeeper becomes the cost price for the customer. Just by knowing that, we could establish the relation of every cost price and we could solve this particular caselet. Next caselet. Vidhan, a businessman, he bought some quantity of three types of articles A, B, C. So we are given three articles. C costed him a total. We are given the cost price, the rate of the article, selling price, the discount, and the profit. So just by knowing all what all is present in the caselet, we can first draw the structure of the table. So structure of the table will look like this. There are three articles that are given. There are some quantities, the ratio of which is given to us. We are given cost price per article, mark price, selling price, and profit. So the relation amongst all this data is given to us. Now let us try to calculate that data. Now C costed him a total of 20,000 at a rate of 400 per article. So the cost price of C is 400 per article and total costing was 20,000. So the quantity will be 20,000 divided by 400. So that will be equal to 50. So 50 quantity of C was bought. And the ratio of A, B, C is given to us as 8, 7 and 10. So 8, 7 and 10. Now we know that value of 10 parts is given to us. So 10 parts value is 50. That means 7 parts value will be 35. 8 parts value will be 40. Okay. Next, by selling C at a discount of 16.66%. Now 16.66% means 1 by 6. So if he's selling it at a discount of 1 by 6, he earned a profit of 25%. So profit is 25%. So profit is always calculated on cost price. So profit will be equal to 25% of 400. So that will be equal to 100 rupees. So cost price is 400, profit is 100. So selling price is cost price plus profit. So it becomes 500 rupees. Now it is given that a discount of 16.66% was offered. So if discount is 16.66%, which in fraction is 1 by 6. If discount is 1 by 6, selling price will be 5 by 6 of marked price. And we know the value of selling price is 500. So 500 is equal to 5 by 6 times marked price. So from that we can calculate the marked price will be 600 rupees. On B, which was marked rupees 500 per article. So for B, mark price is given to us. It is 500 per article. He earned 50 less profit per article as compared to that on C. So he earned 50 less profit. So his profit will become 50. 100 minus 50 will be 50. Now he's selling B at a discount of 10%. Now we know that discount offered is 10%. So mark price is 500. So discount will be 50 rupees. Selling price will be mark price minus the discount. So 500 minus 50, that will be 450. Selling price is 450. Profit is 50. So cost price will be again 450 minus 50. So that will be equal to 400. Now it is given that Vidhan spent a total of rupees 50,000 on buying these articles. Total cost that was incurred by Vidhan was 50,000. So simply if you do the total cost of C, it will come out to be 50 into 400, so that is 20,000. 35 into 400, so that becomes 14,000. We don't know the costing of A, so let's say it is X, and the total costing is given to us as 50,000. So from this we can calculate the value of X. The value of X will come out to be 50 minus 20 minus 14. So the value of X will come out to be 16,000. So this value of X will be 16,000. 60,000 and quantity is 40. So 40, 16,000 divided by 40. So you get the cost price as 400 rupees. Okay. So again the cost price of article A will be 400. Now article A was marked 40% above the cost price. So 40% above the cost price means 40% means 400 plus 40% of 400. So this becomes 400 plus 160. So that becomes 560. It is sold at a discount of 14.28%. So discount of 14.28% means 1 by 7. So it is sold at a discount of 1 by 7. That means the selling price will be 6 by 7 into mark price, which is 560. So that this becomes 480. So selling price is 480, cost price is 400. So profit will be selling price minus the cost price. That will be equal to 80 rupees. Okay. So this is the final table that we get. Let's try to solve the questions. Find the average cost price per article for all three articles. We need to find the average cost price per article. Simply multiply 40 with 400, 35 with 400, 50 with 400, you get the total cost price. So it becomes 40 into 400 plus 35 into 400 plus 50 into 400 divided by the total quantities, which is 40 plus 35 plus 50. Okay, so if you solve this, again you can take 400 common. So this again becomes 40 plus 35 plus 50 upon 40 plus 35 plus 50. So this gets cancelled out. So average price will be 400. Okay. Next, if Vidhan gave an extra discount of 10% on article C, if he's giving an additional discount of 10%, so currently the selling price is 500, after giving an additional 10%, that is 50 rupees, the selling price becomes 450 now. Find his gain percent or loss percent. So he's selling at 450 and his cost price was 400. So again, he is gaining profit of 50 rupees on 400 rupees into 100. So this becomes 12.5% profit. Okay. Next, if 5 articles of B were stolen, so out of these 35, 5 were stolen. We need to find the profit percent or loss percent by selling the remaining articles of B. So for B, the total cost price is 400 into 35. Now, unfortunately, 5 got stolen. So selling price is 450 into 30. Okay. So 450, 35 into 400. So that will come out to be 14,000. And this will come out to be 45 into 3, 13,500. So that means cost price is greater than selling price. And the difference here is, we have added one extra zero, 13,500 and 14,000. So the difference is of 500. 500 over 14,000. So the loss percent becomes the loss upon the cost price, which is 14,000 into 100. So loss, it will come out from the options. We can see that we'll have loss, so we'll cancel the options of profit. That will never happen. Now we are left with two options, either 33.33 or 3.57. Just by looking at it, we can say that the answer must be less than 10%, because 10% of 14,000 is 1400. So 10% of 14,000 is 1400 and the loss is 500. So our answer must be less than 10%. Hence answer will be B. And we don't need to calculate it exactly. Last question. Find the profit percent earned by Vidhan by selling article A. So by selling article A, we need to find his profit percent. So profit is 80 rupees over 400. So profit percent is nothing but 80 upon 400 into 100. So that will come out to be 20%. Okay. So that should be 20%. Answer should be 20%. Simply 80 rupees profit on the cost price of 400. So that will be 1 by 5. So that will come out to be 20%. Now let us try to solve conceptual caselet 3. There are four FMCG companies A, B, C, and D. After completion of financial year, the results, that is expenses, revenue, and profit of the companies for the year 2015 were summarized. So four companies, expense, revenue, and profit. That is all we need to calculate. So simply this, we can draw this structure: the four companies, revenue, expense, and profit. Okay. Now it is given that the expense of C were 20 million. So expenses of C were 20 million and of A were 10% less than those of C. So of A was 10% less than that. So that becomes 18 million. While the total expenses of C were 2.5 times its profit. Expenses of C were 2.5 times its profit. So this means 2.5 times profit is equal to expense, that is 20. So profit becomes, sorry, by 2.5, so it will be 8 million. So profit is 8 million, expense is 20 million. And in the last, it is given that profit is defined as difference between revenue and expense. So profit is equal to revenue minus expense, which means that revenue is equal to expense plus profit. So again, we can calculate revenue. It is expense plus profit. So revenue is expense plus profit. That means 20 plus 8. So that will come out to be 28. Next information we are given is that profits of A were 10% of its revenue. So profit of A was 10% of its revenue. Now another important thing to understand in terms in questions related with revenue, expense and profit is that as revenue is expense plus profit. Okay. So revenue is 100%. Let's say profit is 10% of revenue. That means expense, we need to find expense. So expense will be again 100 minus 10, that is 90% of revenue. So in this it is given that profit of A was 10%. So profit is 10%, that means expense is 90% of revenue. And we know the value of expenses, say it is 18. So 18 is equal to 90% of the revenue. Okay. So this becomes, the revenue will come out to be 20. If revenue is 20, expense is 18, the profit will be 2. So again, this is a very important concept that you need to remember in terms of expense and profit. CLAT has already asked caselets based on this particular concept. Make sure you have the clarity in this regards. Next, the profit of companies C and D were same. So C and D profits are same. So it will be 8. While the revenue of company C was same as that of company B. Revenue is also same. So it also becomes 28. The profits of B were 14.28% of its revenue. So 14.28 is 1 by 7. So 1 by 7 of 28, that means 4. So 28 and 4, that means this will be 24. Last, revenue of company D were 2.5 times of its profit. So revenue of D is 2.5 times of 8. So 2.5 times of 8, it becomes 20. 2.5 into 8 will come out to be 20. If it is 20, it is 8, the expense will be 12. The revenue of company D were 1.5. Okay, sorry. Revenue of company D were 2.5 times its profit. Okay, so just cut this line. We don't need this line. And also it is not required. Okay. Yeah, simply profit is defined as this. So the revenue of the company D were 2.5 times its profit. So we got this particular table. Okay. So profit of all four companies together was what percent of their revenue combined? So profit of all four companies together, simply add this. So you get this as 22. It was what percent of their revenue combined? So simply calculate the revenue. It becomes 80, 88, 88 plus 8. So this is 96. So simply we are asked 22 by 96 into 100. Okay. So 22 by 96 into 100. So you can approximate it as it will come somewhere around 22% only. So answer will be C, 22.92%. Okay. You can approximate 96 as 100. So 100 gets cancelled. So the answer should be nearer to 22%. So answer must be 22.92%. Next, which company has highest profit percent in financial year 2015? So highest profit percentage. Okay. So profit percentage will be calculated on the base of revenues. Profit percent will be 2 by 20 into 100. So that will be 10% for company A. For company B, it will be 4 by 28 into 100. So that is 14.28%. For company C, it will be 8 by 28 into 100. So that will be just double of this, 28.56%. For company D, it will be again 8 by 20 into 100. So that will be equal to 40%. So the company which has the highest profit percent is company D. Next, which company has highest expense percentage in financial year? So highest expense percentage. So the company having the lowest profit percentage will have the highest expense percentage simply because if profit is 10%, expense will be 90%. This will be, so it will be company A, right? So the company A will be having the highest, let's say this is C and this will be D. So the company which has the highest expense percentage, it will be company A. Okay. Next, find the ratio of average revenue to average profit. Average revenue to average profit. So average of the revenue, we have already calculated the total revenue as 96. So 96 by 4 and the average profit, it will be again 22 by 4. So we need to find the ratio with respect to revenue and profit. So it will be 96 by 4 whole upon 22 by 4. So that will be equal to 96 by 22. So that will come out to be 48 by 11. So answer will be B, 48 by 11. Okay, so this concept of revenue, expense, and profit is very important as far as CLAT is considered. Already it has asked a caselet related to this. So make sure that you have understood this caselet very clearly. Do solve, do go through the slides again and again if you face any difficulty in terms of concept. Still, if you have any doubt, do connect with me at the faculty contacting hours at Vidhigya. Thank you.